but I've been watching the new Hazbin Hotel. We're up to episode 4 right now, aka all that's available. And man, is it a lot of fun. I am enjoying it. I find so far all the songs on average, in comparison, are a lot better in quality, which is crazy because there's a lot more songs than before. It used to be like 2 per episode and now it's 3. And well, obviously the animation is a lot better as well. Not that I hated the songs in the first season, but there were definitely ones that were just less engaging, like Welcome to Heaven. But even the little songs in season 2 are a joy to listen to. I can't help but notice they've also been growling in their songs a lot more.
After me, I'm checking in.
The ball, it's time for growth. Let's roll them both. Take total control.
Clouds, no running's gonna save you now. Life with pure intention will speed run from here redemption. Disgusting as ugliest building that I've ever seen.
You ain't won yet. Now I'm the master, and you're my bottomest bitch. No more.
But let me get started on the actual episodes. So, first off, I was not expecting Rosie to be the person who Alistair was connected to. I think we all thought, generally, that it had something to do with Lilith. Or at least whoever's pretending to be her. Maybe. And it kinda has me wondering if Rosie is an actual overlord or not. Because how was he able to contact her through a summoning circle? Or I guess how did she find him through the summoning contact circle thing? Maybe she could technically still be an overlord, aka a powerful human soul. In some of these things, you can still contact human spirits through different means, but I don't know. Seeing that there are like human sacrifices and stuff to contact her made me question that a little bit. I'm also wondering what their goal is, or I guess what Rosie's goal is, because it definitely revolves around Jolly, considering ready for this. Even if it's to have some sort of effect on Lucifer and or Lilith down the line, it's clearly focused on Jolly. Since Alistair even had the thought that it was fine to quit, to stop helping with the hotel and distance himself from Charlie after being annoyed with Lucifer's inclusion, probably shaking up the dynamics he was preparing and planning around. And well, he also just kinda hates anyone who is stronger than him. I also noticed how Alistair replicates what happens to him on Husk. Like, he's called Husk a pet, and he's also physically pet him on the head, like Rosie did to him. And it makes sense that a guy who's, let's not forget, Alistair's an asshole and he's kind of like self-absorbed. He's a little narcissistic. So it makes sense for him to like want to put that back onto someone else, so he doesn't just feel like he's the only one having to deal with that. Or maybe I didn't explain that right, but hopefully you get the idea. I also like the decision to make his hair, as a human, curly as well. Because that was one of the criticisms that I've seen that I did agree with. As one of them colored folk myself, I did think it was weird that in art before this, his hair was straight. And, well, now this may have something to do with my personal trauma related to having to accept someone's control over you to a degree, and having to navigate them threatening you with the power they know they have over you. But why did I kinda enjoy seeing all the toxic dynamics pop up? Like all the shit with Rosie, as I said, but then also Vox. Like, I found it fun to watch the blatant and unashamed show of power, and then Alistair's reluctance, but he has to accept his masking, and then obviously the quiet scheming. The way Vox handles his obsession is interesting to watch too. It's like that "you wanna fuck me so bad it makes you look stupid" thing. But yeah, I will say though, I don't feel too bad for him either. I mean, this whole thing started because he wanted to make sure he could continue torturing and having power over others. Like, let's not forget. But all this stuff changing for him definitely will have something to do with the deal he made with Charlie. If the scene of him scheming in front of the Morning Star's family statue didn't say that. Now, obviously, I knew Alistair was like a heavy fan favorite before, and I personally didn't understand why people liked him so much. I didn't hate him, but to the level I didn't really get it. But episode 4, they really just drew and animated him a certain way, no? Almost every Alistair scene had like some extra sauce. I just knew people would absolutely be eating it up while watching it. Unexpectedly, so did I. A little bit. I even kinda get it now. I never talked about Alistair so much until today. Because, see, the characters I think I am most like between Husk, Lucifer, and Vaggie. The thing about all three of those characters is that they do not like Alistair. So when I say I do not talk about Alistair, I don't. Cause why in the world did they have this man licking his fingers and stuff? I know he's a cannibal, but like, yo. And don't get me started on all the things with Vox, cause what was all of that? What was all of that? Do I even need to say anything? The tying up, the 2 times he quirked up his eyebrows, and one with the little shoulder shimmy. The part where he was taunting Vox and it was like close up on his face. The little anime yandere look down shit that he did. Dude, what? And then like the chest with the wound and stuff. They knew what they were doing. And then Vox being so happy to have him. Bruh. The fact that one of the first things he did was take Alistair on a date. This guy is... And then he also fucking made him watch him and Val do shit together. That was insane. He did not have to... And he did not have to stand up.
What's he gonna do? Oh! He's pulling his cock out!
Cock out right in front of him. And then also touch him after he had to watch them do all of whatever happened. All of whatever went on. I also find it funny, Vox always defaults to saying I and has to fix it to we for the rest of the V's. I don't know if that's a hint that he wants to ditch them once he's secured his desired position or what, or if it's just, I guess another form of narcissism or some sort of self-absorbed thing. Like he doesn't necessarily want to ditch them, but he is thinking about himself the most and first. Or maybe because of the shit with Alistair, he wants to prove that he doesn't need anyone else, so he wants to ditch them once he gets there to be on his own. I mean, he would have still had to use them even in that regard, but he might be trying to make up for that moment. Alistair being like, oh, you always need someone else, you can't do it by yourself. I also loved how a lot of the things from the pilot are playing out again in full form. Like, the first song, I thought the presentation and sound of the way Charlie sings that part where it's like, once you check in with me, and now has been guaranteed, were very similar. And now we get the same in quotation marks, interview with Katie Killjoy as well, where she's all, I don't touch the gays.
That would be a lie. You can put that away. I don't touch the gays. I have standards.
Yeah?
Nice to meet you, Miss Morningstar. It is Miss, right? Because we all know queers can't get married.
What?
Are you fucking kidding me? You are very rude.
Look
This is
at
all
you
been
go.
a whole
Yada,
setup.
yada,
And what's
yada,
more,
yada.
you are very homophobic, Miss Killjoy, and I do
I'm not
not like you.
homophobic. I just hate gay people.
And I haven't seen it yet, but I'm willing to bet people are annoyed with Charlie. But I actually kind of like that she hasn't properly changed yet. Those types of habits, or whatever you want to call them, do not usually change that fast, even if it was a point of conflict for most people. And she's going through this for the first time. Not that it has to be realistic, but most people in real life will repeatedly have shit like that happen and not change. She's probably been around other demons who are also most likely royalty, and not people who wouldn't have had the privilege and security that comes from that type of life. Because even her approach to the redemption thing was very naive. Very surface level stuff like dressing modestly and stuff like that. Kind of like real Christians that ignore the nuance of situations. But that's a different type of scenario. She's probably figuring out a different approach after that part with her Vox and Angel though. But the point is, like, do you want things to happen immediately or slowly? It seems like people cannot decide what they want with the show every time I decide to listen. Like, nuanced or straightforward, fast or slow, what do you want? I'm also glad they showed Angel's anxiety with the other V's as well. Because a lot of people love to separate Valentino, but the V's help and enable him. They're a group after all. Let's not pretend Val is on his own in secret or something. They know what he's doing and they help. Going to episode 2, yo, why is Prentious so pretty? I kinda hate it. I kinda hate how cute and pretty he is. I was a Prentious stan from the start. Peeped the shirt from one of the first Hazbin Hotel merch releases, but my goodness, human Prentious is pretty. Did I say Prentious? Pretty Prentious? And then also Angel him. Angel him is really pretty too. Like those dramatic poses during the song with him and Jerry. Yo, what were they doing? But speaking of Cherry, actually, I'm not gonna lie. As cool and fun as that song was, and the relationship in general, in theory, I am not fully convinced yet why a character like Cherry would like a guy like Serpentius yet. Is that bad? Like, I don't fully see it yet. I'm not fully convinced. I mean, I guess things can just happen, but I'm Aero Ace, so maybe I'm not one to talk about how attraction works, but I don't know. I'm still not super convinced that that is believable at the moment. The concept of him missing his friends in hell, just a little side note, kind of reminded me of Billie Eilish's song All the Good Girls Go to Hell. That one part where it's like, got friends but can't invite them. You know, so you're separated from maybe the people who, well, were your people. I am also someone who's very isolated and like to watch people as well. Not like that though. I totally understand, as someone, as I said, who's so isolated, how awful that cheer up attempt from Emily would have been. Like, imagine being isolated. I don't have to imagine that part. But then, so isolated, finally finding your group of people, and then getting separated from them after, like, what? A couple months with your people that you finally found? That would absolutely suck. I would hate to actually finally find my people and then that happens. And, I got a little flashback. That moment he tried to shoot himself. Reminded me of that that one Star Wars animation. Yeah, you probably know the one. If you're in this Helloverse fandom, you probably are aware of it. But anyway, something else that not fully sure how to feel about it, but I'm not against it either. I find it a little weird Adam was an archangel. Isn't that like a little bit much? Speaking of archangels, Sarah is probably an archangel. I feel like that's safe to say. I like that despite that, she still doesn't really know what's going on. Because God, Loki, always be playing with people. Everyone. Angels, humans, whatever. Because if he was clear and always morally in the right, there'd be no fallen angels. Because there'd be no reason to question anything. And, well, I'm in the habit of saying he, by the way, because I know originally that's how it is. but that was more so for the purpose of putting men above women and patriarchy, all that fun stuff. So I'm not against God being shown as feminine or a woman. Like in Good Omens. In actuality, I do think it makes more sense for it to be like that. Like logically, I don't think it makes sense for God to be male or primarily masculine. Not that the speaker of God being femme means God is a woman in this show yet though. Will we ever see God? I don't know. I wouldn't be upset if we did or didn't. Also, someone really should just console Lute. They've been leaving her on her own, with her own thoughts, quite a bit. And kinda just brushing her off, that's not gonna help the situation at all. Speaking of that, did anyone notice how she was just breaking a bunch of Adam's things? Like, I understand you're mad, but hold on. Don't you want to keep those? I mean, he isn't gonna be around to make any more, so... Kind of bringing it back to Lilith very shortly. This makes her whole scenario even more mysterious, since what's going on with her? Is that like a fully separate thing? Because that's one less connection to Lilith, knowing anything about her. So to add on a little bit here, I was also wondering if maybe Rosie is Lilith. Okay, I know we're throwing around Lilith's name a lot, but I did think it was originally weird in Ready for This that she and Alistair say she's bound to pass the test as Princess of Hell. You know, what business do they have, off of what we knew about them, testing Charlie to pass a test as Princess of Hell? Like, what if Rosie is actually Lilith and Lilith is Eve or Rue or whatever? God, Lilith is so mysterious right now. I feel like I sound like one of those super conspiracists when I talk about her sometimes. It's like, maybe Rosie's Lilith, maybe Baxter's Lilith. Like, girl, I don't know. That scene with Charlie and Lucifer, by the way, was very cozy. Like, imagine being in that moment. Yeah, okay, well, I think I'm done now. There isn't too much else on my mind. So, I think that is all. Okay, adios.
Oh shit, what's that?